Imagine a team at a crisis point, people clocking in, tuning out, motivation at zero. David Mead sits at a round table in a cramped office with a nonprofit struggling to keep their mission alive. They know what they do and how, but their why, it's murky. Simon Sinek's big idea from start with why has stirred plenty of minds, but now the real work begins. How do you dig out that elusive, electric why that ignites a person or an organization? That's exactly where Find Your Why sets the stage and cracks the code. What if your own why is closer than you think, but hidden in plain sight? Let's find out. Finding your why isn't just a corporate mantra, it's a lifeline. Let's see why starting with a shallow answer sinks your whole purpose and how drilling down turns fuzz into fire. David Mead recalls sitting with the leadership team of a Boston-based nonprofit. They rattled off mission statements, words like help, support, community. But something felt flat. Slowly, they got granular, talking about moments when their work hit home. One director shared how a single mother cried relief after receiving housing help. That story, not the polished mission, electrified the room. The team's real why surfaced in those raw reactions, not the bland brochure. But how would they capture that feeling for the long haul? Think of why like the roots of a tree. It's invisible but anchors and feeds everything above ground. Facts and features are branches and leaves, sure, but without deep roots, wind and drought topple you. In Find Your Why, Sinek and team argue your why is emotional soil. It's what nourishes motivation and trust. Data and logic are the shiny leaves telling you what you do. Your why is the muddy, rich earth giving you life. Skip the roots and your purpose risks being a flimsy showpiece. When teams uncover their authentic why, motivation flips overnight. The Boston nonprofit told stories, started meetings by sharing impact moments, and suddenly people came alive. Employees no longer just did tasks, they embodied a shared mission. One volunteer said it felt like finding a family, not a job. This cycle from vague to vivid, from disconnection to devotion, is what Find Your Why promises, giving you a personal and organizational North Star that guides decisions and fuels resilience. Okay, so you know why matters, but how do you actually find it? It's not a pop quiz. It's more like storytelling archaeology, digging, connecting dots, and peeling back layers. David Mead guides individuals through a process called the why discovery. It starts with recalling key life moments, successes, failures, times when you felt deeply alive or proud. He remembers a teacher who initially thought her why was to educate, but after sifting through her stories, it turned out her why was to empower voices that were unheard. Those moments are gold mines, marked by emotion and meaning, which uncover what truly drives you beneath surface ambitions. Your mind plays tricks, so Find Your Why leans on external reflection too. That teacher invited her closest friends and colleagues to share stories when she made the biggest difference in their lives. These outsiders offered fresh perspectives, like shards of a mirror reflecting something you can't fully see alone. It's a feedback loop of discovery, where your why emerges from the relational truth painted by those who know you best, even strangers in some cases. Once you've gathered these raw materials, the book provides a crystal-clear template to contribution so that impact, the teacher's why became, to empower voices so that overlooked stories are heard. This formula isn't fluff. It forces you to sharpen your purpose into something action-guiding and memorable. It's your handshake to the world, a beacon that tells people why they should care. Your why isn't some lonely island. It's a connection, a thread that binds you to your tribe and fuels a culture that can't be faked or forced. Simon Sinek shares the story of Southwest Airlines, a company wired not just for cheap flights, but for a culture where everyone shares the same why: to democratize the sky, making flying accessible and fun. Employees from gate agents to pilots know this why and rally behind it. This transparency builds trust, not just lip service, fueling loyalty in a way that customers and workers feel as authenticity, not just marketing spin. It's like a secret handshake passed down to every new hire. When leaders openly share their why, something shifts. Leaders are no longer distant bosses but relatable humans with passion and purpose. The book describes how a CEO who publicly shared a personal story about why his company existed, rooted in his grandmother's struggles with illness, created an emotional bond across the whole organization. Vulnerability became a leadership superpower, increasing engagement and reducing turnover. Aligning your why across teams is like tuning an orchestra. Each instrument, person, department has skills and tasks, but the why is the conductor's baton, ensuring harmony. When everyone shares the same why, decisions speed up, creativity blooms, and momentum becomes unstoppable. No more bureaucratic gridlock, just collective drive rooted in shared meaning. That's how culture becomes a competitive moat, not a hollow buzzword. Finding your why isn't always a smooth road. You'll hit blockers, doubt, past hurts, fear of judgment. But those obstacles, they're clues, not dead ends. David Mead recounts helping a burned-out executive stuck in self-doubt. Perfectionism and fear kept her stuck in bland corporate speak, parroting safe phrases like deliver value. Sitting quietly, she began telling stories about times she'd helped shy colleagues find their confidence. Fear started melting. It was less about grand achievements and more about quiet impact. That vulnerability was the gateway to her authentic why. It showed that stumbling blocks often hide your real purpose underneath fixations on image. False assumptions can blind you to your true why. Many people think it's about what they do, their job title, or accomplishments. Find Your Why debunks that with a bold truth. Your why is about contribution and impact, not job description. It's like wearing colored glasses. Once you take them off, you see your motivation in true color. This mind shift frees you from identity traps and opens up a more inspiring, honest narrative about your purpose. Setbacks are not signs you failed your why. They can actually point you right back to it. When the nonprofit in Boston faced funding cuts, instead of despair, they doubled down on their why by sharing more stories about the families they were helping. This reinforced connection kept morale high and attracted new donors. Your why is a compass that guides you even through storms, transforming challenges into milestones on your journey. Finding your why is step one. The real magic, living it every day in small choices that build an unstoppable momentum of meaning. The authors tell of a small startup that printed their why on every employee's desk plaque, to innovate connections so people feel truly seen. This daily visual cue wasn't just decoration. It sparked conversations, influenced emails, shaped meetings. Small, repeated acts like a morning check-in question about how your work connected to the why cemented a culture of purpose. Rituals become reminders. When you live your why daily, it stops being abstract and starts being your atmosphere. When crisis hit, leaders who know their why don't flinch. They articulate it clearly and calmly. At a tech company facing a PR storm, the CEO leaned on their why to steer communications, saying their mission wasn't just profit but to connect humanity. That recentering helped diffuse panic internally and externally. Speaking your why in moments of friction anchors your team and projects confidence. It's your North Star in chaos. Every decision from hiring to product features becomes easier when filtered through your why. The book shows how one CEO used the why test. If it didn't align with their mission, it didn't get greenlit. That simplicity cuts through noise, keeps teams focused, and avoids mission drift. Your why is your decision filter, letting you say no to distractions and yes to what beams your true purpose. Remember that Boston nonprofit team, stuck at a dull mission, transformed when they connected their stories to real impact. Your journey is just like that. Your why is woven into your moments, your emotions, your community. Start with your stories, lean on the people around you, and turn your why from an idea into a living, breathing compass. Try this. Tonight, grab a journal or a friend and find one story that makes you feel truly alive. That's your starting point. Because when you know your why, work stops feeling like work and starts feeling like purpose. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.